What's up, everyone? Again, Dante back here giving you yet another Dramascripted Saturday. And if you're new here, you're new to Dramascripted Saturday, and whatever algorithm decided to bring you here, my name is Dante, and every Saturday I talk about the biggest and most notable things that happened in the past week of this wonderful world called wrestling, which I themed is always Dramascripted. But how I start off every Dramascripted Saturday, I start off every Dramascripted Saturday with the ratings of the three biggest shows currently in the world today. And that was the WWE Raw, which is 1.89 million views this week, AEW with 844,000, and NXT with 610,000 views. So those are the ratings on the three biggest wrestling shows of this week. So a lot of history was made this past Sunday. This past Sunday was the first Grand Slam of the year for WWE, the Royal Rumble, one of the big four pay-per-views. If you don't know, the four biggest pay-per-views in WWE is Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Survivor Series. Those are always the big four. And the big four, they've all been around plus 25 years. So I guess that's why they're so iconic. They're WWE's top four longest running pay-per-views, hence their Grand Slams. So we had, on the men's side, we had Edge winning, which was big. I'm gonna be honest with you, Edge is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I did not expect Edge to go in. Number one, he was in number one, and number two, I did not expect him to win. I didn't expect them to give Edge the win. And number three, Edge is in the best shape of his life. He looks like he's in better shape now than he was when his original return was last year. And he looks in better shape than when he won the Royal Rumble the first time 11 years ago, on the same date, mind you. I think he's the only superstar in history to win the Royal Rumble on the same date. So yeah, he won it 11 years ago on January 31st, just to come back to win it again on January 31st. So I think he's the only wrestler to do that, and he wins at number one, which puts him in exclusive company with Shawn Michaels, and the thou person who should not be named, Chris Benoit, and now Edge, for the people that's came in at number one, and then that's won it. That's very, very, very huge, very, 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 very huge at all. As you guys know, I'm kind of torn on this, because you guys know I don't like old people getting pushed over all the young talent. Hence, I was flipping out over Goldberg. Goldberg better not win. Goldberg better not win. And then they give us a reverse squash match with Drew McIntyre beating Goldberg. And it seems they're indirectly setting up Drew McIntyre to be a new legend killer. Because let's just say Edge picks Drew. I highly doubt they're going to give Edge his 12th title reign. So then that means in the span of, I'm going to say 3 months, Drew has slayed two legends. And for some odd reason, I don't see Edge going against the big dog, Roman Reigns, over on SmackDown, because as you saw on last night, Kevin Owens is still not done with Roman Reigns. So I think it's more and more going to lean towards Edge versus McIntyre. I really, really feel that way, and I would be surprised if they put Edge over McIntyre. I'd be surprised and somewhat a little bit disappointed, but and happy, because Edge is my favorite superstar. I'm just so torn. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. It's just what a great time to be a wrestling fan. And then on the women's side, we have Bianca Belair. Technically, since for reasons unknown, WWE does not want to acknowledge The Rock as a black person. He's always Samoan, and he's always promoted as a Samoan. Then that would mean Bianca Belair is the first African American to win a Royal Rumble. Even though technically it is The Rock, but they don't. Because consider The Rock black, which is weird because Dwayne Johnson considers himself black, but World Wrestling Entertainment doesn't. So you know how they make up their own rules and history, and every wrestling Hall of Fame is handpicked by Vince. So, I mean, just make up your own rules. But so yeah, Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble. That was another thing that I didn't see coming. I was voting for Rhea Ripley because, they were going to move Rhea Ripley to the main roster. And I think that would be the way to do it. Have Rhea Ripley win the Women's Royal Rumble. So that way, by default, she has to be on the main roster for at least 2 months to challenge for either the Asuka or to challenge either Sasha Banks. But Belair is a good choice as well. She's been doing wonderful things over at SmackDown. She's been very, very entertaining. So it's like, well, is Bianca going to pick Sasha? That would be. I would rather see a Belair Sasha match versus a Belair Asuka match. I'm just being straight point. So I hope Belair picks Sasha, and I hope Edge picks McIntyre. All the notable things: the Royal Rumble. We had the last man standing match versus Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, and like the botch at the end kind of ruined it because Paul Heyman struggled for a plus 30 seconds to get the cuffs off, and he struggled so much that they indirectly had to have the new ref stop counting, even though Reigns already took care of the old ref. And like they kind of nudged it because they had Roman kneel, and they tried to play it off that that's him being on a vertical stance, which is it's both bullshit. But Paul Heyman botching with the key to not get Roman free within a certain reasonable time, and then it just ends with him putting him in a guillotine, and then the match is over. But a full 2 minutes before that, with them struggling, Roman kicked Kevin Owens in the balls, and that was enough time for KO to recover from that kick in the balls. So for him to just get freed and just apply the guillotine with nothing, no fight back of Kevin Owens, and then that's how the match ends, was kind of weird and kind of bad to me. They could have improvised. They could have said, because since in the guillotine they could talk to one another, Roman should have said, hey, just pop up powerbomb me, since you technically did recover, which he did recover for some time. But besides that, it was an okay match. It was an okay pay-per-view. In other news, apparently Cesaro signed a new deal. This is coming for FW, for the World Wrestling. Dave Meltzer himself says he's verbally agreed to a new deal. We don't know any details or how long the new deal is, and he's getting a small push, as it seems. He's been on the past 2 weeks SmackDowns, and he just got a huge win over Daniel Bryan last night. So it looks to seem like the rumor of the new deal is true. He just has to sign it, and then after he signs it, maybe the details will come to light to see how long the new deal is. And in other Dramascripted news, Lars Sullivan finally got released from the WWE, but in silence. Now, if you guys don't know, Lars Sullivan was found on bodybuilder.com years ago doing a lot of racial and gay slurs, and then was reportedly fined by the WWE $100,000, which is something that we'll really never know if WWE actually fined him $100,000. And then he comes back, he gets another push, which is like, why? And then he gets hurt. And then they tried to push him again, and then he got hurt, and then they just released him. But they released him quietly. Apparently he's been released since mid-December. Now, a lot of that kind of strikes me as odd, as all the foul stuff that Lars Sullivan has done in his personal life. Just to WWE still want to continue giving him chances, which is like, why? And then they finally released him, but they don't even publicly release him. They release him on the low. It's like that whole thing they did with Hulk Hogan for 2 years. Oh, hey, let's just raise. Hulk Hogan said the N-word. Let's slowly remove him from everything for like 2 years so that people can forget. And then magically Hulk Hogan is on TV shows, WWE shows and stuff like that, and still being, announced. Like, it just blew over. I didn't forget. So, and then speaking of Hulk Hogan, he was on SmackDown last night. So it's just like, it's weird how WWE just does things on the low, when if there's like, you know, other superstars, they'll just make it public and outright, and it'll be, hey, he's released because so and so and so and so. Oh, you know, Lars Sullivan, we're just gonna release him in December and not say anything. Really kind of awkward. In AEW news, Kenta got his revenge in attacking Jon Moxley on Dynamite in his match against Kenny Omega. So, and now on February 10th, we have a tag match. We have Kenny Omega and Kenta versus Jon Moxley and Lance Armstrong in a Falls Count Anywhere match, tag team Falls Count Anywhere match, which is very, very interesting. Obviously, Don Callis is going to be with Kenny Omega, but it seems if you really are with Bullet Club, no matter what wrestling organization you continue to join, it seems like the way the storylines are coming up, you really are Bullet Club for life. So I'm interested to seeing what's going to happen in the past couple of weeks and how they're going to build this IWGP US title fight between Kenta and Jon Moxley. So that's pretty much it on this week's Dramascripted Saturday. If you like what you have witnessed, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, there'll be a Dramascripted Saturday every Saturday. And until next Saturday, guys, I'm Dante. I'm out of here. Later, and peace. Be safe, everyone.